Alright guys, you know what's up. Overwatch currently has a competitive Mystery Heroes mode, and it's fun. The only issue is, it's hard. Every game feels random, and when you lose, you should just blame bad luck, right? Well, no. I've been playing it for the past few days since its release, and after analyzing my games, I have determined which strategies lead to winning games, and it's a lot easier than you'd think. So, firstly, what is different about competitive Mystery Heroes? Just like in other competitive modes, you switch sides, but since it's Mystery Heroes, obviously when you respawn as a different character. However, the game locks you to 3 of each role at a maximum, and tanks have less health than the role lock modes. What a lot of people don't seem to know is that if you eliminate yourself, by for example jumping off a cliff, you'll respawn as the same hero. While this means you can't purposefully switch heroes by killing yourself, it does mean you can keep on heroes you like by jumping off the map once it's clear your team lost the fight. Keep in mind though, while you do stay the same hero, you lose all of your ult charge, not even like that 25% that you get when you die. In Mystery Heroes, how you play is very dependent on your team composition. What you want in your team is at least one main healer like Ana or Moira, and you might say, yeah, but how do you do that? It's random. I know, just hear me out. Tanks are also strong, but less important. What you really want is 1 or 2 good supports. This means if you are playing a support that your team could benefit from having, stay alive. If this means running away from a fight or letting some of your teammates die, do it! A Moira is much more important to keep on your team than a Tracer, for example. But what if you have a team comp with no supports? You have a few options. Sometimes you can just suicide into the enemy team to get a new hero, and I call this re-rolling. But I don't think you should re-roll unless your team has already won the fight and you know your team can trade so you don't get split. If you're on the attack and you don't have supports, what I like to do is build ultimates with your team. If you convince your team to just play to live and build ults, you can get 4 or 5 ultimates and win an objective without any supports. Sometimes though, there's just nothing you can do about the team comp, and you just have to play the best you can and take the losses when they come. Even the best players in the game will sometimes lose Mystery Hero matches, so don't get too upset about it. Besides trying to manipulate what heroes you get, there are a few strategies you can employ to give you an edge. For one, use voice chat. I recommend this in any game mode you want to win, but especially in Mystery Heroes, coordinating with your team is super important. Since odds are your team is mostly tanks and damage heroes, if you call out or ping who you're shooting at, the focus fire from your team will kill anyone instantly. You also want to plan with your team each game how you're going to deal with getting a bad team comp. Pretty much every game you'll have at least one bad team comp. Decide whether y'all will just dive in to try to end a fight quickly and reset, or if you want to play for ultimates. I also recommend playing with friends. Not only will this make it easier to coordinate strategies, but it's also more fun and will help you keep a good mental state. Mystery Heroes can be frustrating if you go in expecting a fair game, so just make sure you're having fun and just GG go next after a bad game. Here are some tips for y'all that will help you specifically in Mystery Heroes. Tip number 1, when the round switches, if you hold tab, there's a split second that you can see what heroes the other team has before it hides it from you. This can give you time to prepare or reposition based on whatever you're running. Of course, you can also just stream snipe, but that only works if the enemy team has a streamer.
I got Sigma.
Ooh, we got Kiwi.
Alright, they got a Sigma, a Kiriko, a Torbjorn, a Widow, and a Zarya.
Did you check at the half?
Huh? No, I'm watching Beaver.
Tip number 2, know where the health packs are. When you don't have supports on your team, knowing the map layout and where the health packs are is necessary to heal back up in between fights. What this also means is that if you happen to get Sombra, go hack all the health packs. Seriously, before the fight starts, just go hack them all, so your team can use them and the enemies can't. If the enemy team has a Sombra and you have no supports, you need to focus her down first so that your team has a way to heal. Tip number 3, and this one's a bit obvious, but be able to play lots of heroes. I classify myself as a flex player for sure, so I love Mystery Heroes, but if you don't play lots of heroes, there are ways to minimize the risk of getting a bad hero. When you do get someone you aren't very good at, try to stick to the fundamental Overwatch principles that you know, and instead of trying to pop off, just try to play solid. On the flip side, if you get someone you're particularly good with, try to do your best to keep that hero by playing your life. If you get to play the whole game on someone you know how to play well, your team has a massive advantage. And finally, remember that you can't control everything, so just play as consistently as you can, and you'll climb the ranks of our new favorite game mode. Alright, that's about it for my thoughts on competitive Mystery Heroes. If you found it helpful, leave a like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you think I missed anything. In case you were wondering, my mic is different because I'm on vacation. Also, at the time of releasing this video, it's been over a week since my last video, but I promise I actually have videos coming out soon that you'll want to watch, so stay tuned. Good luck, y'all!